Welcome back, fellow citizens of Jar, to Deron for Super President. This is the show in which we try to build our own country, take over the entire universe, and fix all of the universe's problems. If that sounds like something you think you might like, please hit the subscribe button down below to be counted as a citizen and to join us on our path to glory. As you may notice, I have glorious facial hair. It's a thing that's around and in and on my face. Things that I very carefully cultivated over a long period of time. Struggle, anguish, all of the things that dictators tend to cause in the world, because today we're talking about dictatorial facial hair. That was a really long segue. So I've done enough research and Googling on various different dictators and their facial hair to put me on one of many government lists in which I will be tracked into my late 40s and then arrested and put in jail for the rest of my life. So in the meantime, let's judge mercilessly as we can all of the dictators that have come through the world, or at least the ones that have noteworthy facial hair. First off, we have Brigadier Tafari Benti of Ethiopia. Now, you might notice something really goes along with that wonderful stash of his. It's the look of confusion, as though he's been cast in a Taika Waititi or Wes Anderson movie and is not really sure if he's on the right set or even in the right country. Realistically, if you just look at this picture here, he just sort of looks like he walked off set one day and Mr. Wes Anderson is still looking for him. What really ties the look together, though, aside from the look of confusion and being scared, is the face carpet that he has cultivated sorely between his nose and upper lip. I don't endorse any of these people, by the way. They're deplorable, and for the most part, I'm going to make fun of them. Next up, we have the person that many claim is the Japanese version of Hitler, Hideki Tojo, who, if you look closely, is sporting what I like to call the Tom Selleck of really bad people that you shouldn't want to be like. Next, what I can only describe is the cat that's being yelled at in that one meme. It's Muammar Gaddafi. Now, if you look closely at Gaddafi, aside from the "I'm hungover and a little bit too drunk to be here" expression, and the fact that he didn't really find a good way to put the hat on the head between and around and betwixt the hair that he had upon his topper, he does definitely kind of half commit to the gated community of his face by letting in some hair, but not quite enough to really commit to any particular goatee style. Now, I do not make fun of anyone who cannot grow facial hair, but I think he literally just couldn't commit to facial hair or not, and didn't really decide until it was too late. Now, if you think that's bad, let's look at Bashar from Syria. Now, if you look closely, he has created some fine grit sandpaper between his upper and lower face noses. What this is probably about is, rather than sharing, as you would do with a Kit Kat bar by snapping off a piece, he merely just pushes the Kit Kat bar back and forth across that sand grit paper, and that creates little rain of chocolate only for him in the lower face nose. Some people may debate whether or not Fidel Castro is in fact a dictator, but I don't think anyone will debate the fact that that beard he's got right there took 30 seconds in the morning to feasibly actually get to the state it is now, and he cares a lot more about drinking his daily glass of milk than he does about preening that daily glass of beard. So, you're on the list. Now, what about those people who look up to the bad people, like a Hitler boy, but don't actually want to, fully call attention to it? Why, you have Robert Mugabe. What I can only describe as Robert Mugabe's tic-tac of hair, which he has lost somewhere between the tip of his nose and the valley betwixt his upper lip tops. The jargon here is insane and flowing. Now, what says "I am sick of all these facial hair trends among dictators" more than Mussolini, who can barely even commit to his own eyebrows? Now, I have no problem with people who can't commit to eyebrows. You can draw your own on. Be creative. Be who you were meant to be. But it definitely says something in the dictatorial world to also be a contrarian as well as a horrible mass murderer. Now, he may not have a beard, but I think we would be lax if we didn't talk about Chairman Mao's crown of hair, something that if flipped upside down would make a rather excellent beard. It's as though he had a beard, and when it got very warm due to climate change, the beard migrated north and behind. That way it wouldn't be in the way. I don't know why it is so voluminous, but I refuse to use any specific name of a plumper or volumizing shampoo in this, not only so that this doesn't come off as a sponsored episode, but also that I avoid being sued by any brands I may mention. Both Stalin and Hitler will go in the final spot of this, because realistically they have two very different styles, and people argue forever about which is the more I want to use the word iconic when it comes to dictators, but you know what I mean in terms of face hair, bad people. Hitler, if you look at his mustache, is as though he went to IKEA but could not afford a whole carpet, so he merely went home with a sampler. On the other hand, you have Stalin, who is effectively trying to create a disguise of himself on his own face. It's almost like Stalin was fully aware of how evil he was and could eventually just shave the stash and then disappear into the night on a huge pile of money. I'm not here to create conspiracy theories, I'm just here to talk about evil hair. So this has been your super presidential candidate Deron, signing off for Saturday, saying, welcome to JAR. JAR takes all kinds. You are family now. Please join us this week and every week. We go up every single Saturday and Monday. Don't forget to check down below in that description for links to fun things. And I will leave you, as always, with our viewer-submitted motto for JAR, which is, we are JAR. If you love JAR, you love us. See you Monday. This episode is brought to you by Luke, and also Rachel. Luke having proven himself in the beard arena, and Rachel, possibly an undiscovered dark horse who may buy facial hair on the black market. We've yet to ever know. Thanks, Luke and Rachel.